Her son 13 people in the Columbine and then suicide. Years later, Sue Klebold, his mother, recounts what a funeral is like.
It's hard to talk about the funeral. We had just a very few people there. I think in the room maybe there were 12 people or so. I wanted to have the body cremated before I left the premises because I was so afraid someone would hurt him or take him.
For over 20 years, Sue Klebold has had to deal with the horrific tragedy caused by her son Dylan. However, today she feels prepared to talk about everything that it means to be the mother of a.
It has taken me years to try to accept my son's legacy. The cruel behavior that defined the end of his life showed me that he was a completely different person from the one I knew. Afterwards, people asked, "How could you not know? What kind of a mother were you?" I still ask myself those same questions.
In 1999, Dylan and his friend Eric entered Columbine High School with an explosive. They killed 12 students and a teacher. More than 20 people were seriously injured, and they ended up taking their own lives. Something that for those who knew Dylan was incredibly unexpected.
Before the things, I thought of myself as a good mom, helping my children become caring, healthy, responsible adults was the most important role in my life. But the tragedy convinced me that I failed as a parent.
Even though Sue has tried to get ahead and learn something from this experience, she still doesn't understand the reasons why her son committed such a horrible crime.
And I said to him, and I said it out loud, and I said, "Darling, help me understand. Help me understand what happened." I said, "That's all I want to understand." And I didn't realize it until this very moment, but that did become my life's mission.
Therefore, since she dared to speak, she has dedicated herself to sharing her experience with the goal that no parent make the same mistakes she feels she made and have the opportunity to do something about it.
Sometimes he would seem, distant or quiet, and I remember asking him, "Are you okay? Are you sure you're okay? You seem so tired," and he'd stand up and say, "I've got a lot of homework, I need to go to bed."
And you let it go.
And I let it go. And that's the difference. I would dig, if it were me today, I would dig and dig and dig. I mean, I had all those illusions that everything was okay because, and more than anything else, because my love for him was so strong. I felt that I was a good mom, that he could talk to me about anything. Part of the shock of this was that learning that what I believed and how I lived and how I parented was an invention in my own mind.
And she says that what she regrets most was not realizing that her son was suffering. She thought she knew him, but once he died, she began to discover everything that was going on in Dylan's head.
I hate my life. I want to die. I have a nice family, good house, couple of good friends, no girls. Nobody accepting me, even though I want to be accepted.
He seemed like a normal boy with goals and objectives, and despite being a little shy, no one would have thought what he was up to.
So, you get better chances after high school as far as college goes. Maybe a scholarship.
Okay, let me ask you this. Are you an independent learner or group learner?
Probably independent.
But his mother believes that if she had paid just a little more attention, she could have avoided the tragedy.
If I had recognized that Dylan was experiencing some real mental distress, he would not have been there. He would have gotten help. I don't ever for a moment mean to imply that I'm not conscious of the fact that he was a killer, because I am.
Sue does not deny that she feels guilty and has tried to explain why she didn't realize what was happening with her son in time, but both people and the media judged her and even blamed her for what happened.
I remember looking up at windows because I was afraid of the media. And I was constantly watching to make sure someone wasn't on some ladder somewhere trying to look in, snapping pictures of Dylan in his casket or snapping pictures of us.
For that and for how much it cost her to accept reality, Sue Klebold took several years to tell her version of events because she didn't know how the public would take it.
What do you say to the parents who say, how did you not know? How did you not see the making? You were asleep at the wheel.
I know many people believe that, and I know that I would have said that if it had been the other way around and my child had been one who was by someone else. There were no behaviors there that I could see that indicated to me that he was a danger to himself or anyone else. And when you believe in someone and you perceive them to be mentally healthy, and I believe Dylan with all of my heart that he was a good human being, I was parenting what I perceived to be a normal, happy, as happy as a teen can be because it's a difficult time. I was not looking for weapons. I was not looking for any of these things that indicated that he was very disturbed. So it is hard to believe. I know that some people can't believe it. But I would only say that people who can't believe it should be very cautious because perhaps they're at greater risk because they're not able to look for those things.
The Columbine mother wrote a book in which she recounts everything that this tragedy brought to her life. From losing her teenage son to being known as the mother of a mass, the guilt for not having realized it in time, and everything that this could have meant for the following school that happened after the one caused by Dylan and his friend in 1999. More than 20 years after the she continues to apologize to all those who in one way or another were involved and tries to be a contribution to society by handling this terrible experience as best as she can.
I am terribly sorry for what Dylan did, for what his role in this tragedy was. And that my offering, the only thing that I know to do, is to do what I've done, to try to write a book and share what my truth is and to see if anybody can learn anything from it. I offer it with love and to use whatever proceeds I have to explore why these things happen and do what I can to make sure they don't ever happen again.